Yo, what is good, YouTube? It's your boy Leach, back here with another reaction video. My Cincinnati Bengals, who they have traded for Joe Flacco. Why now, and what this means for both teams. I mean, let's get right into it. I am shocked, bro. My Bengals actually made a move for a quarterback. But yeah, let's get right into it, man. I mean, what news to wake up on a Tuesday?
Breaking news here into CBS Sports HQ, where the Cincinnati
Browns received
Bengals
5th round
have
pick.
acquired
Cincy also
quarterback
received
Joe
6th round
Flacco from the
pick. So
Cleveland Browns. That's the latest from our NFL insider Jonathan Jones. The Bengals have been struggling since Joe Burrow went down with a toe injury, losing 3 straight.
Bro, Jake Browning, like I said, you need to get out of Cincinnati, bro. At least we're getting a new quarterback. You know, Joe Flacco, veteran. You know, 40 years old. He can sling it.
And with that, we
I think
bring
it's a good
in
move.
our NFL insider Jonathan Jones joining us now. So, Jonathan, with this news, how much does the signing help the Bengals?
A lot.
Well, it helps them a lot more than where they were yesterday,
exactly.
right, Tiffany? They finally understood.
But, like, I will say this. I'm going to pause the video real quick. It's not all on Jake Browning. It's on Zach Taylor, too, bro. You know, the game plan. You know, but, I mean, it's pretty much on Jake Browning, though. Because, like, bro, you know, like, if y'all go watch the Lions video, bro, that I reacted to, bro, he missed so many reads, bro, like, right in front of his face, bro. It's just like, you can't be a starting quarterback if you can't make the simple reads, bro. Like, it's just like, and he can't even get Jamar Chase and T against the ball. I mean, yeah, he got Jamar Chase the ball against the Lions, but at what cost, bro? We still lost, bro, but
truly and honestly was evident.
I'm just surprised our front office really went out there, bro, and was like, yeah, man, let's go trade for a quarterback.
With Jake Browning as their quarterback.
I mean, it's Joe Flacco, which is kind of weird, you know, an in-division trade.
And how well he played, a winning record
the Browns,
there.
they're set with
But
Gabriel
when you
and
look
Shador,
at
so,
how
I mean,
Jake Browning has
why
played
does
this
Flacco need to be on the
season,
Browns?
it wasn't good enough. It was not going to help them be competitive by mid-December when they hope that Joe Burrow will be
I think
fully
Joe
recovered and
Flacco
able
can
to
get us
play
4 or 5
and return
bro.
from
Be honest,
that
bro.
turf toe
really
injury
think he
and
can.
subsequent surgery. And so
you know, we do.
they turned to Joe Flacco.
Who do we? Yeah, we play Green Bay.
So
Trade
for the
wonder if
Cincinnati
he'll
Bengals. They
start
don't
that game.
ever really trade
or will it be
for
Jake
players.
Browning because it is Tuesday,
and
so
a rare
you know.
interdivision trade. Rarely do you see this happen and take place within a division. It's taking place now between the Cincinnati
but I'm
Bengals
happy
and,
about it. You know,
Cleveland
Joe
Browns,
Flacco.
the
I mean,
AFC North. A rare
bro, he's
sort
a
of
veteran, bro. I think it's crazy, bro. I grew up
a division rival.
You know,
unless of course the division rival may know something about the quarterback.
You know,
we see right there
Ravens,
Joe
bro.
Flacco's numbers this season. If you go back to last year,
that's just crazy. Now he's on my favorite
Indianapolis
team,
Colts,
bro.
Only one
Who
quarterback.
motherfucking day, though, man.
Well,
Let's
actually,
go,
no
dog.
quarterback has a worse passer rating qualifying than Joe Flacco since the start of last year. He did not play well for the Colts. He has not played well for the Cleveland Browns, and ultimately got benched for Dylan.
Bro, he's 40 years old, bro. Like, he's not what he used to be, bro. But yes, he's still a solid quarterback, bro. He can win the Bengals football games, bro. He doesn't have to be a superhero, bro. We just need him.
And Gabriel, so the magic that he had at the
go
end
in there,
of that 2023
get the ball to our
season that helped the
playmakers,
Browns
bro, and
make
let
it to the
them
playoffs
do
has
what they
not
need
been
to
able
do,
to
bro.
be recreated, and so the
plain and
Browns
simple, bro. That's what
saying
we needed.
that
Jake
they
Browning
can do
needed to do
without
that,
Joe
bro.
Flacco. Best of luck to you in Cincinnati. They're willing to help out the Bengals in theory, or maybe, of course, they know something about Joe Flacco and his level of play that the Bengals may soon find out.
I do want to get to that. I also want to say I was on the sidelines, and I've been on the sidelines for a couple of Bengals games where Jake Browning has been the quarterback. And
but like I said, it's
off of
weird
the one where
division,
Joe Burrow goes down with that toe injury. You know, this team just had so much confidence in Jake Browning, so it might be saying a lot about what they think about him right now.
It's not like we're playing that bad, bro. Our defense is actually playing pretty good.
About the Browns' confidence now in
Dylan
Gabriel having traded away Joe Flacco.
It's got to get going, man.
So we'll start with Cincinnati, where you were at that game with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars should have won that game.
And one more thing, bro. You know, all these Ravens and Browns fans, bro, and Steelers fans, they're all, not even Browns and Ravens fans, bro, because y'all are ass, bro. You know, I know my team has lost, 3 in a row? Something like that. And, you got these Steelers fans, man. Like, you guys need to calm down, bro. Like, calm down a little bit, Like, y'all act like the season ended today. Like, who cares if you're leading the division, bro? The only thing that matters, bro, is when you're leading the division. towards the end of the season, bro. That's what matters, bro. There's still a lot of football to be played, bro. I'm just saying, bro. Karma bites you on the ass.
When the top 5 quarterback of the team goes down and the backup comes in and throws 3 interceptions, the other team always wins that game.
Well, yeah.
Right? And ever since then, Jake Browning hasn't been able to do enough. Another couple of interceptions. They play the Broncos the next week. They only muster 3 points. The next week, he throws multiple interceptions
too, bro.
again.
As I said, it falls on Zach Taylor too, not just
in Jake Browning. Again, I think
Jake
it was
Browning
misplaced.
Definitely,
and so now the Bengals are more or less admitting that, turning to Joe Flacco.
But
now, what does it say about Dylan Gabriel?
Jake Browning, bro. If they wouldn't have traded for Joe Flacco, bro, he might have got Zach
Dylan
Taylor
Gabriel
the way he's been playing.
Ahead of their game against the Minnesota Vikings in
bro,
London. They were never turning back to Joe Flacco.
Like a couple years ago, he came in, bro, and played really good.
Happened to be an unfortunate injury. Once you go to the rookie, you're not really going back to the veteran. The veteran who's on a 1-year contract. The veteran who does not have a future with the football team. And so they believe.
But yeah, this is I like this trade. The organization trying to make it work, bro.
The scouting report was
I'm happy about it.
Quick decisions. You can.
I just can't believe Joe Flacco's
going
to be a strike, bro.
This is a little bit more down the stretch in a winnable game against the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, look, Browning 0 for 3.
The Browns do feel comfortable and confident
TD to
in moving forward with
INT
Dylan Gabriel
ratio
and Shedeur Sanders as their 2 quarterbacks in a season where
that's
they
with the Browns, bro. The Browns have such a
right
dog
now,
shit offense, bro.
And sending away Joe Flacco to Cincinnati.
Like Stefanski.
JJ, the trade deadline then is November 4th, so
I don't think it's all
maybe
Flacco,
for these 2 teams or even just the league as a whole.
I think Flacco will be better than Jake Browning. I mean, he's got Jamar and T. Higgins.
I actually had a story earlier this weekend on CBSSports.com about the top quarterback names and how there were no calls on them. Cincinnati had not made a call on a Kirk Cousins or a Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I'm surprised that the Bengals
for Russell Wilson.
You have Russell Wilson out there, I know again he's cringy, bro, but he's a good quarterback. You got Kirk Cousins out there, which I'm kind of happy they didn't go trade for Kirk Cousins because it's Kirk Cousins, bro. But I like Joe Flacco. I think because I don't know. A lot of people were saying, go trade for Jay. Why would we want Jameis Winston, bro?
Listen, people keep talking about Jameis Winston. He's on a 2-year contract with the Giants. I think the Giants want to keep Jameis Winston. They'd be willing to part with Russell Wilson if someone is interested in him.
But no, in division trade, the Browns get a 5th, we get a 6th back, we get Flacco on top of that. So
contract this year. A lot of teams, first of all, they can't take that on. Most teams don't want to take it on, and then how much would the Atlanta Falcons want to eat of that? You look at the Joe Flacco deal. It's a pick swap 5 and 6.
But I will say this, bro, the offensive line has
$800,000 in remaining base salary. That is going to be what the Cincinnati Bengals wind up paying.
That's one thing I'm kind of scared about, bro, is the offensive line with Flacco.
One other name, Anthony Richardson.
Browning can
Colts
move
have
more
no
than Flacco,
interest
obviously.
in dealing him. I've heard a couple other names out there. What would the San Francisco 49ers do? Perhaps once Brock Purdy is healthy. They have Mac Jones. Mac Jones isn't going anywhere. 3-0 as the backup to become the starter.
Yeah, that would have
been a 2-year contract with
the
San Francisco 49ers. That's not going to happen. So this was a much needed trade for the Cincinnati Bengals.
I would give up
a
3rd-round pick
do it because they don't need Joe Flacco anymore. They've moved on from Joe Flacco. I don't know that we're going to see a whole lot more trades right now. Right, we're still 4+ weeks away from the trade deadline. Things will pick up probably 2 weeks or so from now.
After today, we are certainly going to be looking forward to see what happens throughout the rest of the league. JJ, great insight. Thanks for joining us. That was our Jonathan Jones NFL Insider. And for more things NFL, of course, you can Cincinnati Bengals have this trade. Sports HQ, where the Cincinnati Bengals have acquired quarterback Joe Flacco from the Cleveland Browns. That is the latest from our NFL insider, Jonathan Jones. Now, the Bengals have been struggling since Joe Burrow went down with a toe injury, losing 3
that is a problem, though, bro. When you cannot get Jamar Chase and T. Higgins the ball, bro.
And this week, they are on
you
the
need
road
to be fucking
Packers on Sunday afternoon. And with that,
bro, they low-key should just cut Jake Brown.
Joining us now, we've got our NFL analyst, Leach Duzable, and Aditi Kinkhabwala, who has the league covered. We know you're working sidelines. I'm joining you there, too, sometimes.
I don't know.
So let's start with this, guys, and I'll start with you, Leach.
It's not that
Can you assess the Bengals' chances now of making a run now that they've made this switch? Because obviously now...
And that's for all them, Steelers fans out there, because the Ravens and Browns, we're better than y'all, bro, so I can't really, talk to y'all. But, Steelers fans, bro, y'all are, so cocky, bro. You have that week 5 bye week. Like I said, you're legit doomed for the rest of the season. I mean, you can get my comments, say whatever you want, but bro,
Now, maybe
we're
they're
taking
not
the
thinking
North.
that Jake Browning is the guy.
Yeah, Tip, this is a bit of a head scratcher, and to me, it also smells of desperation.
Head scratcher and desperation, bro. Well, have you saw Jake Browning, bro? How is it a head scratcher, bro? You're getting a 40-year-old vet, man. Joe Flacco, all he has to do is go in and give Jamar Chase and T. Higgins the ball, man. How is that a head scratcher? And we gave up, what, a 5th-round pick? And we're getting a 6th-round pick back. Like, what are you talking about, bro? Head scratcher. I don't know, bro.
By the Cincinnati Bengals. When you look at it, right, Zach Taylor, 2 consecutive years not making the playoffs. Tiffany, you've covered this league for a while. If you go 3 years without making the playoffs, usually your seat gets hot as far as job security. So when you look at it, you rarely see interdivisional trades, right? So the Cleveland Browns have had Joe Flacco in the building. They're willing to trade him to a divisional foe. That should tell you everything you need to know. And then I'm going to have our producer, Mark, put up this graphic comparing Jake Browning to Joe Flacco.
But bro, you're not understanding is, like, oh my. Joe Flacco is finna be in our system, bro. The Brown system legit sets you up for failure, bro. It does, bro. Look at Baker Mayfield now, bro. Look at how good he is, bro. I'm not saying Flacco finna do what Baker's doing, obviously not. But, like, bro, that's in the Brown system, bro. They want you to not succeed, bro. Like, what are we talking about, bro?
Well,
what's the difference?
What's the difference?
When you look at Joe Flacco,
it's 2 different fucking systems, you dumb fuck.
His interception to touchdown ratio is worse than Jake Browning. So to me, yes, I get it. It hasn't gone well, but me and you, Tiff, were talking before we came online. It doesn't matter who's at quarterback right now for the Cincinnati Bengals behind that offensive line. The reason why they don't have a superstar quarterback is because of that offensive line.
This is a valid point.
And now you're going to take Jake Browning away, put in Joe Flacco. I'm not saying Jake Browning is the answer, but you're going to put Joe Flacco in there who is less mobile than Jake Browning. How is that going to pan out? Another issue, this offensive line is not blocked for Chase Brown running the football. They become a one-dimensional team. So again, you remove Jake Brown and put Joe Flacco in, who's older. Are you going to sit back and throw 40 times with Joe Flacco? Because history has shown us that's not going to bode well for your team.
Just such a good season, but...
All right, well, Leach, here's what I'll say. You are completely right about that offensive line. I certainly hope that offensive line doesn't get Joe Flacco killed. But Flacco can indeed deliver the ball to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. So you've got that going for you. And if you're not constantly behind, then maybe you can get that run game going. And that obviously has been a huge problem for the Bengals. The run game, the play action game, haven't seen it at all. The thing I would say, guys, my mind is blown.
Correct.
Why would you send a quarterback to a division rival right now who could actually put the ball in the hands of your playmakers? You had an opportunity
something Jake Browning couldn't do. That's why we made the trade, bro.
The Bengals, why would you do this? And the Bengals, I'm going to come back to another quarterback that the Browns had during training camp, the one that they actually wanted to start for them, and that was Kenny Pickett.
Look at us without
Why
Joe
would you make
Burrow,
an effort
man.
to go
6 and
trade
11.
for a guy who actually does have some athleticism,
287
who could
yards per
possibly
game.
move when your offensive line isn't
Points per game, 18.5.
secure in any way and doing its job? So it's
not
head
the same.
scratching in a lot of ways. All I can think is that the Bengals believe that Joe Flacco can indeed deliver the ball
Joe
downfield.
Flacco, man.
The Browns know that Deshaun Watson is getting healthier. Kevin Stefanski just gave an update. When I talked to Deshaun myself during training camp, he said that he was ahead of schedule as compared to when he had hurt the Achilles before.
Lead us to 4 or 5 wins, man. I'll buy your jersey.
Maybe
Fuck it, bro.
the Browns have seen enough out of Dylan Gabriel, and they are that hopeful that he stays healthy. Maybe this is Jimmy Haslam having said during training camp that the Browns.
By the way, that means Shedeur Sanders is now QB2, bro. I do believe. Yo, that's crazy.
See both of these rookie quarterbacks at some point.
So yeah, Shedeur's gonna play at some point this season, bro. He has to, bro. He's QB2.
He's going to get an opportunity at some point.
Gabriel in there right now,
but I certainly feel that Joe Flacco is indeed an upgrade. He can indeed still throw the ball to Browning, but it's a head scratcher all around, guys. Totally a head scratcher.
Yeah, I could feel that coming from both of you, the energy, and same here.
How is it a head scratcher? Like, I seriously, like, bro, like, I feel like these people are not real, bro. Like, Addy and Lager, you know, Tiffany Blackman, like, bro, like, what are y'all talking about, bro? Like, it's two different systems, bro. Our system is way better than theirs, bro. The Browns' offense is so bad, bro. Like,
and I want to
any quarterback in their system never does good, bro.
Right? Like,
they
find
don't.
The playmakers, get them
Baker did all right in
it,
it, but did he do
where
great?
The Bengals have been able to rely on their defense to kind of turn.
Then he goes to the
around.
Buccaneers, and he's all of a sudden an MVP caliber
I know I had them in week 2 with that loss against the Jags, and you're kind of just like left, like, what's going on there? That being said, Aditi, I got to ask you then, since you are boots on the ground when it comes to all things AFC North, a lot of the time,
2-6
just what does this mean for the division as a whole now?
2 of them picks were against us.
Tiffany, the Steelers, of all people, are in the driver's seat. I said this before. You know, I think I said this on HQ, in fact, last week, that no matter what that offense does, no matter what decisions Mike Tomlin makes, the football gods just don't want the Steelers to lose. And so the Ravens have so much to figure out. You can look at them and still say that they are the most talented team in the division. You can still expect that.
No, it's the Cincinnati Bengals. It's not the Baltimore Ravens. You got that all wrong.
At some point they will get healthy. You hope that defense.
I'm telling you, y'all laughing at my Bengals,
like
bro.
A year ago, that defense that started slow will right itself in some way. I am unwilling 4 or 5 weeks into the season to sit here and write off any team. So the Ravens are still a load, and you've still got one of the best players in the National Football League in Lamar Jackson, one of the few quarterbacks that can put a team on his shoulders. You're not writing them off, but they're not healthy right now, and they're certainly having a lot of issues on offense in terms of what they're doing. They're certainly having some questions on defense. So, okay, the Ravens have to figure out a lot. The Browns are rolling with a rookie quarterback who certainly had a nice, efficient outing in London this past weekend.
But they lost.
You're never going to expect a rookie quarterback to put a team on his shoulders. Who knows what's happening with Jerry Jeudy and those wide receivers? Right now, you have some tight ends that you can count on. You need that run game to do a little bit more and not just rely on a rookie. And that defense is indeed a number 1 type defense, but it's not getting the takeaways the way the Steelers are. That defense needs to take on more. That Browns defense needs to get takeaways. That Browns defense needs to score until this rookie quarterback gets its legs under it. So you're certainly not sitting here and saying, oh, okay, the Browns can potentially contend for the division right now. You need to see more out of them.
The Browns,
and now you've traded away the veteran quarterback that you had. Should anything
they do got a good defense, but
and the Bengals,
their offense.
Well, that offensive line and that run game and that defense, just like you said, Tiff, they fired Lou Anarumo because they expected that defense to be better. We haven't yet seen that out of.
The defense has been better. What are we talking about? I'm about to click off the video, bro.
That Bengals defense. So who's believing in the Bengals right now? And Joe Burrow is at least 2 months away from coming back, if he is indeed at all. So we're back to the Steelers, no matter how they are constructed, and no matter what.
The Steelers aren't even good, bro. Like,
the Steelers are in the driver's seat in this division.
Yeah.
And to
for
your
now,
point, Didi, right,
for
going
now.
into the season, besides the Cleveland Browns, the Steelers probably had the most question marks. Like, and the one thing you can't question is Mike Tomlin.
They did so good, bro. But like, we know what y'all do, bro. Y'all finna end the season 9-8, bro.
Has been
probably missed the
playoffs so
bro.
far to start the season. They're still not out of it. Matter of fact, Vegas has them as the betting odds to still win this division. Right now, they have a big game versus the Rams this week. We don't assume that Lamar Jackson's going to play. But to your point, Aditi, if they start getting everybody back after the bye, the schedule lightens up. Now, first and foremost, they need to get things together on their side instead of worrying about who they have to play. But if they can get everybody back and play the Raven-type football, like you said last year, their defense really struggled to start the year. It was more of the passing defense this year. It's the running defense. But if they can play that type of football they played last year, they can make a serious run. But it's just funny to me that going into the season, the 2 question marks in the AFC North were the Cleveland Browns and Steelers. And the Steelers are winning the division right now and clearly winning the division. It's not even close.
That's who the Browns. Go ahead, Aditi.
No, I was just going to throw one more thing out there.
And another thing is, bro, that's because the Steelers aren't playing no one, bro. They're legit playing bums, bro. Like, I mean, come on, dog. Like,
Every team always tells you that they're doing everything that they can to contend. Nobody is taking a redshirt year as a team. But let's not forget that the Browns have 2 first-round picks next year because of that Travis Hunter trade. So in some ways, when ownership says during training camp, we want to see what we have with these young guys, the Browns need to know what they have in these 2 young rookie quarterbacks before next year. So not that they're giving up on...
my bad for pausing again. Yeah, they have the 2 first-round picks, but I guarantee you 90% they're going to miss on both of them.
The season, but
I guarantee you they'll miss on both of them. I guarantee it.
Right?
It's true. It's true. And
because, bro, what has Mason Graham done for them, bro? Did he tackle from Michigan?
The Steelers this week. Now, they're just coming off of that loss to the Vikings, but everyone seemed to be pretty impressed with what Dylan Gabriel was able to do in that game. Obviously, the Browns were enough to be able to trade Joe Flacco. So let me ask you this, Leach. So you've got Shedeur Sanders now.
Yeah.
QB2, and maybe what are his chances now of possibly cracking into a game?
I think as good as Dylan Gabriel played in his first start, I don't think we would consider putting Shedeur in unless there's an injury. Now,
Gabriel,
again,
Sanders,
it's a long season.
Watson,
we're still early on in the season. I'm not mistaken. I believe we're going into week 6, if I'm not mistaken, right now.
Watson's
so, there's still a good portion of the season left to contend with. So right now, Shedeur Sanders moves up the depth chart. He'll be dressed, right? He was the emergency quarterback when Joe Flacco was there. Now he's solidified as the number 2 guy behind Dylan Gabriel. And I think he only plays if Dylan Gabriel literally falls off the wagon or he essentially gets hurt. But again, the way Dylan Gabriel was played throughout preseason, even his first start last week, so efficient as indeed he talked about with the football. You know what you're going to get with Dylan Gabriel. If the first read is open, he's taking it. He's not going to go taking a profit. And that's the thing that I think Kevin Stefanski looked at and said, with how our offense is struggling and our defense is playing like a championship type defense, we are wasting these outings from our defense. Let's put the young guy in there and see what he has, because I know one thing: if the first read is open, he's going to take it. He's not going to sit back there, burp the baby, and hold the football. So again, I only think Shedeur plays if Dylan Gabriel has a regression. I mean a mean regression. You got to give the young kid some rope, right? If he has a mean regression or he gets hurt, that's when I believe Shedeur will go in and play for the Browns.
And Leach, one of my CBS is so fabulous to let us work with other teams during the preseason, and my preseason gig is with the Browns. Yep. So I was there with them all during training camp, all through those 3 preseason games. I can tell you, Kevin Stefanski loves Dylan Gabriel for all the reasons you just said. He is a very, very smart, heady player. He is in that film room. He studies exceptionally. You tell him one thing once, and he doesn't make a mistake twice. He is all the things personality-wise that Kevin Stefanski wants out of a quarterback. Right, and just like you said, he's not playing street ball.
Zip it up.
Just trying to see what can open up downfield. What he started one game. He goes through his progressions extremely well and extremely efficiently. Now, Shedeur, he's got a great magnetism to who he is. He's got a lot of growing to do, and he has admitted that. He is working towards that. He is getting better, but what he ran at Colorado is not necessarily what Kevin Stefanski is looking to run right now. And so there's certainly still a lot of growth that he needs to do.
He ready, bro. He ready.
In the playbook, on the field, and even off the field. We saw the miming in the locker room a week ago.
Like I said,
I don't
give Dylan Gabriel sample size, give Shedeur Sanders.
That he is one snap away from going in. This is Dylan Gabriel's team right now.
The end of the season,
he does not need to look over his shoulder. The Browns want to see progress out of him. Dylan Gabriel go, then you'll be like, and yes, there's more opportunity for Shedeur to continue to keep getting better as he has all right now.
Whew, this trade had us all fired up in this building. So
my phone keeps blowing up. People are like, "What's going on?" And I can't answer these questions right now.
You know, it's crazy. Leach, thank you, and Aditi, thank you.
Well, that's gonna do it. For what they had to say about the Joe Flacco trade, bro. They said it's a head scratcher. It don't make sense. I mean, they're about to find out. Papa Joe, man. He's about to put on for the 513, bro. We're glad to have you, bro. I'm glad we traded for you. Like I said, it's 2 different systems, bro. Like, they're like, well, it's not much of a difference. Well, bro, like, systems matter a lot, bro. How things are ran. And we got 2 of the best wide receivers in the entire league, bro, on one team, bro. So, Joe Flacco, all you have to do, offensive line, give him some time. Joe Flacco, You know, get it to Jamar, get it to T, get it to Yoshi. You know, check it down to Chase. You know, let him work in space, bro. That's all he has to do, bro. And I'm so thankful that I won't have to fucking watch Jake Browning this Sunday. You know, it's legit a dream come true. I mean, hopefully the Bengals release him, you know, or they just, you know, tell him, you know, to leave Cincinnati, you know, because I really don't want to see his face. Because, yeah, I mean, we got Joe Flacco now. We don't need Jake no more. But yeah, make sure y'all follow the socials on the screen. It'd be much appreciated. I love y'all, and I'm out. Peace.